Greetings. My name is Collin Blonarowitz, and I'm the current chair of the Paving Sector Committee. I'm pleased to provide this update on the challenges that we faced and our responses to them. As mentioned by our President, Kelly Scott, 2020 has been a challenging year. Despite this, our efforts have been focused on the following areas: volume of work, work delays, the inability to plan for the upcoming year due to the lack of an appointed Minister of Transportation, and the global pandemic. Last spring, we expressed concerns that the annual quantities of work tendered by the ministry were being reduced. Our suspicions were correct. The final total of work tendered for the 2020 season are as follows: asphalt concrete pavement, 980,000 tons, a decrease of 9%. Hot in place recycle, 1.7 million squares, a decrease of 5%. Seal coat, 2.1 million squares, a decrease of 6%. In fact, we believe the actual quantities are more in the line with a 10% reduction. The actual numbers vary depending on the calculation method, as there are several different ways to calculate with carryover projects and the capital work projects. We are working hard to address the shortfall and intend to meet with the ministry to establish a baseline quantification of program volumes. In terms of 2021 projects, the election change in leadership has impacted this. Since the interim minister wasn't available to make commitments, we did not discuss prospective projects. Our efforts were further complicated by the fact that the actual budget annual forecast of quantities were unknown. As contractors, we are pleased that the ministry is committed to having 70% of the projects tendered by April 1st, 2021. We stress the importance of early tendering and meeting the 70% timeline, as late tendering of projects affects members' ability to schedule and ascertain deliverables, such as water permitting and notice of work in mines. We all know that engaging BC Front Counter takes time, and with project turnaround so tight, it's difficult to be compliant. Thankfully, the ministry recognizes this and is trying to improve the water permitting process. In spring 2021, the ministry will be issuing a directive for operating in ministry aggregate sources for non-ministry work. Throughout 2020, we brought up concerns about testing the smoothness on decel and accel lanes and side roads, with the speed of the testing machine, super elevations, and wheel tracking being the focus. The ministry has acknowledged our concerns and will be addressing them going forward. The ministry discussed some ESPS changes and would like to engage the Paving Committee to provide comments and proposed wording on the new changes. BCIT Pit Manager course for MOTI aggregate sources. Starting in the spring, if you're a contractor operating in the ministry aggregate source, you'll need a BCIT Pit Manager certificate. This is required for the production of aggregates or aggregate extraction. You'll have to refer to the BCIT website for updates. BC bid update should be operational by June 2021. We understand the ministry will be reaching out to the contractors for some demonstrations and to get feedback on usage so the system is ready for the June launch. Liquid AC is a pay item. The consensus at BCRB was to leave the payment mechanism as is. MOTI has the ability to use the asphalt bump if so desired. Change in the AC payment item would force contractors to do more paperwork, and there's concerns over IC tracking as deliveries as well. The good news, the ministry agreed with our position and will leave the payment mechanism the same. WorkSafe BC is starting to inspect asphalt plants. One of the concerns is the storage of liquid asphalt cement and the potential for a pyrophoric condition. BCRB is still meeting with WorkSafe to identify what inspections will be required. WorkSafe is using the API, American Petroleum Institute, as a guide. One aspect to consider is that the liquid asphalt doesn't enter the pyrophoric state if the temperature is below 155 degrees Celsius. We will keep you posted. Pandemic update, as noted earlier, the ministry is still taking the position of no compensation for any cost increases. Our work in this area is still ongoing. To date, we still maintain a good working relationship with MOTI staff and look forward to continue our efforts with the new minister, the Honorable Rob Fleming. No one can argue that 2020 was challenging, but we still managed to make progress. We continue to work and be your voice in the industry as the government gets itself organized for the next term. I would like to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday.